I am getting uncoldified as I sip-ify. See, there's some hot chocolate. I think it's finally getting good enough to drinky drink properly. Let me see. This is a mug my sister gave me. A giant cup of shut the fuck up. I'm pretty sure she drank coffee out of it, but I don't drink coffee. I watched two videos. One was Sam Harris video. I'm trying to remember the other one as I say the Sam Harris. The Sam Harris video was let me see the title. Oh, okay. It's just called Yes, It's Fascism. He's talking with a guy who wrote one article like early into the Trump second term. Hold on a second. Woo! Big stretch. About, he was calling it patrimonialism or something like that. Basically saying that Trump was acting more like the patriarch of a family, patriarch of a mafioso organization, something like that, which is, treating the government like it's his private coin purse. The United States, like it's his company, his property, which is dangerous and shitty, but not fascism. And the guy was like, well, be right back. Laundry. Well, at least the laundry came at a time when I wasn't pissing. So, or when I wasn't dooking, because, and now I can make my food. I've been putting that off. So yeah, the guy that Sam Harris was interviewing just like last month was like, well, finally over the last couple weeks, last couple months, it kind of got to the point where it just couldn't be like, I had to write another article and be like, yes, it's fascism. And apparently the 20-minute clip that Sam Harris put on YouTube was like not the entire thing. It's just like cut off. So whatever. I wasn't able to watch the entire thing. But whatever. Yeah. I'm trying to remember. Hold on. Let me see if I can remember what the other thing was. And yeah. That guy picking up the laundry kind of like really derailed the train of what I was getting at. But on a side note, hot chocolate is good. It's just regular water and just chocolate mix. It makes me warmed. So let's see. That's right. It was about Indians, the other thing. There was a thing that I saw a guy put up. He was doing a spiel about this Indian movie. It was like, it's called You're Not Indian. Apparently a documentary about Indian disenrollment, which basically means Indian tribes taking people out of their tribes. Maybe because they don't have enough Indian blood in them. I don't know. Man, this is yummy. I hope YouTube isn't like mad about my cup because I'm not editing it out. It's good stuff. But yeah, I have a thought a while back, and it keeps creeping up in my mind of how when the whole Trump is gone thing, because Trump basically what Trump did is be like brought to the forefront a problem that we've been having for a while, which is Republicans. All right. I know conservatives will be like, Republicans aren't the problem, Democrats are the problem. Republicans are the problem, conservatives are the problem. That whole side is and always has been just a big problem. All right. You can say that's my opinion. That's just like, I mean, it's kind of demonstrable historical fact. Just look back forever. Again, you can argue if you want to, but leave that for in the drinking room when you want to like sit down with some pals and just have an argument. When you want to actually like do stuff for policy and stuff, just leave that out because you're wrong. I think I saw some like dandruff and stuff go down. It's like with climate change. The science, the information's in. There are always going to be people that dispute it, and for those people, we can like cordon off a section of the room for them to just like sit there and argue about it. But the rest of the world can like move on and be like, you can just go over there and like have your little pool where you can swim around in, and the rest of the world will be like, yay, we're doing stuff now. So conservatism is, and there's a reason that progressives are called progressives. It's because we like progress. It's in the right in there. Progress. If. Progress. If. Conservative. Conserve. Means you want to stay. If you don't want a refrigerator, you can stay in the 1600s with everything that was there. Conservative. Back in the 1600s. All right. So, there. Back to the Indian thing, right? When Trump is gone, the guy that pointed out the existing problem that we've been having for a long time, Republicans, maybe we as a country can come up with a way to kind of add another, and this is very, even I'm not really sure about this as I'm proposing it. So, it's just kind of a, let's think about this thing. Put another layer onto the checks and balances thing. And one of my ideas for the layer would be like the tribal nations. Yeah, I don't really need that anymore. As maybe an independent branch of government. So I don't know exactly how the tribal nations interface with the House and the Senate. Are they are they their own districts? Do the districts overlap with each tribal nation? I don't know, because I didn't do research. So all of this would be debated and talked about. I am just saying, maybe we could have them. Maybe we could carve them out of the districts and they would just be their own separate thing. Apparently in this video, the guy was like, oh, there's 500, I think he said 572 tribal nations. So that number in itself could pose a problem. What delineated powers would the tribal nations have? Would they be an exactly co-equal branch of government? I don't know. These are all things that would be talked about if it would be that specific suggestion that would win out. I don't know. Maybe the solution would simply be restricting the powers of the executive branch, which is not in and of itself a bad idea. Specifically spelling out in law, the executive branch of the federal government just does not have it specifically, explicitly in law, does not have all of these powers. I don't know. But it's probably going to have to be done after Trump and after the Republicans are gone. Someone also said in a video I watched a while ago, it would be a good idea to increase the I don't know if you said increase this. Did you say increase the number of seats in the House or increase the number of seats in the Senate or something like that? Maybe both. maybe both would be a good idea, because because if you increase the number of seats in like in the House, I think was his argument, by like 300 or 400, that would make it so that there would inherently be that there would be more representation for each individual or something like that. I don't know. Like it would be a more representative country, and and because we're getting bigger, and also like the Senate has too much power proportionate to like what it should, because the Senate is just like a sucky idea, because like you know the Dakotas and Montana and stuff have 2 senators when California only has 2 senators, and Texas and New York, like really populous states, each have 2 senators, and whatever only have 2 senators, even though that's the way it's supposed to be. That's the express purpose of that system, so that you know one is done. But whatever, that guy was arguing that's kind of a shitty system. However, my counter argument for that is that the founders kind of didn't like the idea. Most of them, I don't think, really kind of liked the idea of giving the masses too much power, honestly. I think without having a very, very robust education system, and at the same time giving everybody a very healthy amount of free time available for each person to not be at work, time available for them to say, if you want them to vote, if you want everybody to cast a vote, if we're going to have everybody be a voter, you shouldn't expect everybody to vote to work 72-hour weeks and then one day a year be like, well, am I going to vote D or am I going to vote R? With the insightful, educated, informed vote that a mass democracy, in theory, should require. Because otherwise, you are going to get stupid A or stupid B. Or should I say, shitty person A or shitty person B, basically. Person that represents you. Essentially, no one that represents you, no matter who you are voting for, because and we end up with a 2-party system, and then a 2-person system, and then however, if you have a country where a 40-hour work week is like, wow, I worked 40 hours this week. You work 40-hour weeks? Shit, you must be busting your ass. Last week I worked 20 hours. And that's the, what would be, 8, like that was a lot of it. So an average person work week might be 24 hours, and they would totally be able to cover their weekly working expenses on 3 8-hour days every week. That would probably be able to provide a fairly informed public. 24 hours a week, 3 8-hour working days with 4 days off. Because everybody's talking about the 32-hour work week. It's 4 days on, 3 days off. I say 3 days on, 4 days off to provide what you need. Everything after 40 hours is overtime guaranteed. 3 days is what you need. 4 days is for like, I want some extra money. After that 5th day, time and a half, double time. We can debate on what we want to do with that. Personally, I worked a job until I was like 30 or something like that. Maybe we should up that to double time. Just fuck it. Let's make it double time. Let's really stick it to the man and just make it double time because, fuck you. You're going to have to hire everyone in the country. Let's put some incentive. Let's disincentivize making people work overtime. And yeah, build a society around the intent to give people free time to explore life instead of building society around the intent to make almost everyone work all the time. This is yummy. And then you can give the option to the people who want to work all the time. Work all the time. If you want to work all the time, work all the time. I don't care. It's your life. Do what you want. Anyways, there's some of that. I'm going to go make my food. And by make my food, I mean shove some in the oven and let the oven do work. And then I don't know. I think I can actually see my fucking dandruff right there. Yeah. I'm glad I'm getting my laundry done because I need a shower. I need it. need a shower and I need a haircut and I need this some bitch to warm up. So I can shift to non-winter attire and start wearing stuff of that style. Get out of this hoodie. And yeah. And everybody do like the cup says. Also tax the rich, kneecap the rich. Lots of boobs. Lots of boobs to everybody on the earth. Boobs, boobs, boobs. Even those people that had boobs. Boobs everywhere. Don't you get scared. Boobs everywhere. Out.